My name is I'm Israeli. I was born there. I was raised there. I served over 4 years in the IDF. I wore the uniform. I carried the M16s manufactured in the U.S., paid for by the U.S. I served in Gaza at the end of the first Intifada. I saw the occupation from the Israeli side. And I have to tell you, you haven't seen terror until you look at the eyes of an old woman looking at you when you are in the occupation. When people here at AIPAC are concerned about terror, they should look at the IDF. Because that's terror. That's state terrorism on the Palestinian people. And I am privileged. I know that I'm privileged, but I was the oppressor. And I can't imagine the experience of the Palestinian people, but I've seen it in the eyes of the people that I was facing when I had to implement the occupation of Palestine. And honestly, I mean, the people here at AIPAC, I'm sure the thousands of them that walk in, a lot of them don't know what they're walking into. They don't realize that when they support this organization, when they fund this organization, they have been told maybe that they're doing something that is good for Israel or good for the Jews or good for something. But this is not. It's not good for anything. Because this organization, AIPAC, is only fomenting more war and more violence. And there is no safety to Israel through occupation. And there is no safety to Israel through warmongering and saber-rattling. There is no safety to Israel through nuclear weapons. If anybody here is concerned about nuclear weapons, they should work for a nuclear-free Middle East. No nuclear weapons to Israel. If this is ridiculous, we're talking about Iran reaching the capability to weapon, while Israel has hundreds of warheads ready to deploy at any minute. This is not helping Israel. This is the single most destabilizing element in the Middle East. Nothing does more harm to stability in the Middle East and to peace in the world than the nuclear arsenal of Israel and the occupation of the Palestinian territories. We're going to have peace in the Middle East and peace for Israelis, even if they do not care for Palestinians. If they only care for Israelis and Jews, the best way to safeguard Israelis, to safeguard Jews, was to arrive at justice in the Middle East. As we all know, there cannot be peace without justice, and there cannot be justice as long as Israel continues to occupy the Palestinian people and continues to threaten the entire region. And I'm speaking to you as an Israeli. I don't think that AIPAC is out there to protect Israel. I have family in Israel. I don't think AIPAC is looking out for my family. I'm concerned for my family. Israel is going to war, and Israel is dragging the U.S. into war. Your agenda goes through Congress. We need to talk to our politicians to stand up for our well-being. And Israel fomenting war with Iran is not going to serve the United States. It's just that it's not going to help us. We see all this money going to the war machine, to the war profiteers. We're here, we don't have health care. We don't have health education. We have crumbling bridges and crumbling roads and a crazy deficit. And we send more and more money into Israel, which is just subsidizing the military contractors here. And we have trillions of dollars going into war with Afghanistan and war with Iraq. And now Iran, this is insane. We have to stop the wars, all the wars. If you really want peace for Israel, if you really want the security of the Israelis, only the Jews in Israel, and really if you want security of all the people in the Middle East and in the U.S., just stop with the wars, end the occupations, and demilitarize, remove all nuclear weapons from the entire world, but start with the Middle East. Start with Israel. Thank you.